Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. We'll do the Shanti part of this Upanishad. Om Shanno Mitraha Sham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnururukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanma Vavatu Tad Vaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are at a section where this final message has been given to the students by the teacher when they're going back in the world after finishing the Gurukul. And so we saw many different things. And last one was kind of interesting. They were talking about how to treat other people who are wiser and, like saints and sages. And it was saying that listen to them more and, talk less. That was the advice. And we said that we should offer the seat to the superiors and worship them in the act of reverence. All the people who are wise, not just my own guru, and sabhi ke guru ka samman karo, or sabhi wise people ka samman karo. You can learn from everybody. Great advice, very very practical. Otherwise there's a habit ki mine is the best, and everybody should just bow down to mine. That's it. Not like that. Okay. So and now the section comes about danam, charity, because in America charity is very big thing. And we all do all those things. So how to do it? Great tips are given. Very, very nice. This is straight from our Upanishad. So here is the verse, verse 5. Shraddhaya deyam, ashraddhaya adeyam, shriya deyam, hriya deyam, bhiya deyam, samvida deyam. Deyam is charity. So shraddhaya, with faith. And we'll know what it means. So khali faith means what? We're going to learn. That is gladly and willingly. Deyam should be given. Ashraddhaya, without faith. Adeyam, don't give without faith. Shriya, in plenty. According to one's prosperity. Jitna tumhara samarthya uske hisab se. Achhe se do, capacity se achhe se do. Devam again is gift to be given. Hriya. Hriya is with modesty. Modesty, ये नहीं कि अहंकार से दिया, बिकॉज उसका फिर फायदा नहीं होएगा, तुम्हारा स्पिरिचुअल प्रोग्रेस नहीं होएगी. We will see. And then deyam should be given. Bhiya, with sympathy. The sympathy word this bhiya has a lot of more meaning in it. We'll see. Deyam is again given. Samvida also. Samvida is, with friendliness, with feelings, and we'll see what it means. Agreement and to an opinion. Deyam should be given. So these are kind of looks very simple, but there's a lot to it in this, and when we read Swamiji's commentary we will see. But just before we go get some idea, so we'll understand the commentary better. So he was just he's going to explain that how in this whole thing that we learned, where the teacher is telling his students and everything and teaching them about our Hindu culture and stuff like that, Sanatan Dharma, that here the duty was more important than the right. Remember we saw that sab apni duty karenge to sabhi ke rights will be taken care of. And then so because duty comes with sacrifice, not thinking constantly what is in it for me. No, thinking of oneness, thinking of the higher self and all that. So they did not go against the materialism. You saw that. उसको कितना ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस दिया कि भाई खूब कमाओ, खूब ये करो, वो करो, जाके शादी करो, बच्चे करो, सब करो. Okay, so but that platform it's a springboard, for a discipline and progress in spirituality. That's the final purpose. ये नहीं कि भाई हाँ घर गृहस्थी है बस वही है हमारी और कुछ है ही नहीं. No, it's actually to advance further. So it's to train our values. He was talking about the kindness, service, charity, and all that. And then we know that हमारे जो 4 आश्रम है ना, ये ब्रह्मचर्य, और ये गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ, संन्यास. This गृहस्थ आश्रम is the one that supports the other 3. Think about it. गृहस्थ आश्रम में जो होता है ना, वही सपोर्ट करता है ब्रह्मचर्य लोगों को. एंड इवन जो आश्रम वगैरह दुनिया में हैं, उन्हीं को सभी को सपोर्ट की जरूरत होती है. हाउस होल्डर ही देगा, वही कमाता है, राइट. एंड देन इवन द अदर 2 वानप्रस्थियों को भी और को भी द हाउस होल्डर ही सपोर्ट करता है. सो उसकी जिम्मेदारी बहुत बड़ी होती है. ओके, सो दैट्स वेयर ऑल दिस चैरिटी एंड ऑल कम्स इन. सो चैरिटी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ऑब्वियसली. इन्होंने तो बाकी लोग सोसाइटी चलेगी कैसे अगर लोग ये सब नहीं करेंगे तो. सो instruction on how to do the charity, because in the name of charity lot of negative things can happen. And in America we have I didn't even know that some of the things that we think are charity are actually business. And some of these charities are so bad that if you go kind of inside their workings, you will find out 90% goes in the administration. All these executives are enjoying yourself on your money, and then 10% they will give some here and there. So very, very dangerous. So those are the things.
True.
So yeah, so you have to be very careful, and they are telling you to be careful in this verse. And then also spiritual progress can be negative if you become very proud and vain. मैंने ये किया, मैंने वो किया करके, obviously then the spiritual progress is not going to happen. So both ways you're a loser. A receiver also become loser, and the one giver also. And also another big danger, receiver can become, Swamiji used the word irredeemable idler and a moral wreck. कि तुम उसको बोलते इतना दे रहे हो कि सोच के कि हाँ मैं तो इतना दान कर रहा हूँ, वो बेटा लेजी से लेजी ज़्यादा बनता जा रहा है. And this latest giving by the government did that over here, right? That lot of people, they don't want to work because they say, hey, I'm getting more money from sitting at home. Why should I go work? All the minimum wage and all those people. Tabhi to they can't find people. So see, if you give it without thinking, this is what's going to happen. If suppose somebody really needs it temporarily, you help them so that they can, again go back to life. ये नहीं कि वो बैठे बैठे बस खाई जा रहे हैं और तुम देते जा रहे हो, तो it's a negative thing they're talking about also. So important that where do you give and for what purpose. So these are the laws of giving, he calls it. So gifts should be given with faith. So faith is not a blind faith. किसी ने बोल दिया और तुमने जाके दे दिया, नहीं. You go inquire yourself. And then what is Shraddha? The word Shraddha is a very loaded word. We have seen it. And Shankaracharya ji explained the word Shraddha means the right judgment, right understanding, to understand the full import of what my guru is telling me, what the Shastras are saying. That's called Shraddha. Making that effort to get the correct import, to attune to this, all these teachings is called faith. So that's why you need to arrive at your own independent conviction that yes, this is the right place after doing all the inquiry and everything. And we need to be convinced of the nobility of the cause. And we have to find out it is worthy or not. So this Shraddha mein sara sab kuch jata hai. Okay. And then once you are convinced, then they say give in plenty. ये नहीं कि भाई कुछ 5 पैसा पकड़ा दिया, उसका भी कुछ नहीं होगा, तुमको भी कुछ नहीं मिलेगा उससे. सो जो उसकी ज़रूरत है और जो तुम दे सकते हो उसके हिसाब से दो, जैसी ज़रूरत है. That's what it means. And then the next one is that it should not be given with vanity, with big egoism and all that, because that's why they said it, do it with modesty. And sometimes, you want to advertise something so that other people also join, that it's not a bad cause for it. But, कि कोई topic भी नहीं हो तो भी सारा time, I'm talking about it, then it becomes egoism. For a purpose, if you're doing it, in your own heart why you're doing it. So modesty. And then give it with love. That's another very, very important thing, because that deep sympathy, usko bola gaya word, because that gives you only your spiritual progress happens. You don't want to give, without that feeling of sympathy and love in this. That's what the final thing he was talking about in this one. So we'll read Swamiji's commentary, but any comment, question? एंड वो हिंदी में जो जिन्होंने बोला ना, वो उन्होंने कहा कि जो कुछ भी दिया जाना है, आसन या दान आदि, वो श्रद्धा से ही दिया जाना है, बिना श्रद्धा के कभी नहीं, और पर्याप्त मात्रा में दिया जाए, विनयशीलता तथा नम्रता से दिया जाए, बिना भय के और दया से विवेक पूर्ण दिया जाए. These are common sense, but sometimes we have to remind ourselves. Any volunteers to read? Meena ji?
Gifts should be given with faith. It should never be given without faith. It should be given in plenty, with modesty, and with sympathy. Let there be also agreement in opinion or friendly feelings when gifts are offered. As we have noticed earlier, the Hindu culture is essentially based upon the sacrifice implied in duty, and not upon acquisition, which is implied in rights. The very structure in Hinduism recognizes the householder's existence only as a necessary training in curbing his animalism and purifying the greater heights of spiritualism. Cultural perfection was the goal, and every breath in the individual, every activity in his life, every thought in him was marshaled and disciplined to bring out the symphony of the perfect Hindu culture.
So we saw that how that householder's life is, to progress spiritually. That's what basically you're saying.
As such, the householder was trained to live a life of earning and hoarding, mating and breeding, building and keeping, only as a field of activity for him to train himself in the values of love, kindness, service, and charity. Ultimately, the individual was valued upon the spirit of sacrifice he could show towards the finite when the call of the infinite reached to smother his bosom.
So he's just talking about, that our life should, we do tapas, we call it sacrifice, and that in turns becomes, charity, because it is a kind of sacrifice only. And I was going to just say that when we come to chapter 17, Krishna Bhagwan is going to tell you the different kind of dans, and that you will really get it, that सात्विक and दान कौन सा होता है, तामसिक और राजसिक, तीनों तरह के दान भी हो सकते हैं. So you want to go towards the sattvic. When we come to that, we will do that. But this topic is always there in the Shastras, how to give.
Naturally, therefore, the teacher has to give some instructions as to how charity can best be practiced. In the name of charity, many a thing is ordinarily done in society which destroys both the giver and the recipient. The giver gains in his vanity, while the recipient becomes an irredeemable idler and a moral wreck. In order to avoid such a social suicide, the master had to instruct the students on the laws of giving, lest it should kill the soul of his consummate social law.
See, so if you give it wrong, then how much danger it can be. It can destroy societies, And, there is a famous saying, instead of giving a man a fish, teach him how to fish. So he can fish for himself. That's a better dan. Send him to school. Yeah.
Gifts should be given with faith. Faith is not what we generally understand it to mean. In society, faith is generally understood as some idea to be swallowed without questioning, without inquiry. To be under the intellectual tyranny of an individual or a class is not faith according to Vedanta. This has been made clear in the Vivekachudamani by Sri Shankaracharya. Shankara says that to judge and understand rightly the full import of the advice of the teachers and the depth of the declarations in the sacred textbooks, and thereafter to struggle in our thoughts and activities constantly to attune ourselves to these intellectual judgment is called faith.
So, this Shraddha word, he's just telling you, and I explained it already earlier, that it is to struggle to connect to that high, teachings and the Guru's words. वो है, उसको बोलते हैं श्रद्धा. I actually did a whole presentation on Shraddha to this other group that I am part of, and someday maybe I will share it. I think maybe I may have shared it already. I'm not sure. I did a PowerPoint presentation and I spoke about it because it's a big topic, and in Bhagavad Gita there is a whole chapter about Shraddha. The Shraddha भी 3 तरह की होती है. You can have तामसिक श्रद्धा, राजसिक and सात्विक, and we will see that तुम्हारी कौन सी श्रद्धा है वो देखो.
Therefore, charity is acceptable only when it toes the line of our own independent intellectual beliefs and convictions. Unless we are convinced of the nobility of the cause, and unless we have come to a correct and independent judgment upon its worthiness, charity should not be practiced. There is a school of intellectual idlers who believe that our charity must be as open and as free as the fruits to all, without questioning.
So he says, Shastras are telling you that intelligently do. कोई बोलता है ना कि भाई मैंने तो दान दे दिया, मुझे पुण्य मिल जाएगा, बाद में वो चाहे कुछ भी करे. बट शास्त्र उसकी इजाजत नहीं दे रहा है. बोल रहा है कि तुम इंडिपेंडेंटली जजमेंट करो, एंड वो बाकी जो फीलिंग्स उन्होंने बताई है चैरिटी में तब भी आएगी. व्हेन यू रियली बिलीव इन सम कॉज, इट्स अ गुड कॉज, अपने आप ही वो लव एंड अफेक्शन टुवर्ड्स दैट कॉज विल कम टू यू. So that's what it is.
This is not acceptable to the science of Vedanta, which is not trying to cultivate fruit trees. Its aim is to cultivate the thinking animal called man. Therefore, the Rishi pointedly condemns the opposite idea by the positive declaration that gifts should not be given without faith. Every benefactor has the right, nay, a duty to inquire into the bona fides of the cause which he is trying to patronize. Again, a miserly giving will not benefit either the giver or the receiver, and therefore it is said that having come to judge a cause to be deserving, give it your entire patronage. Give in plenty, with both hands, give.
So we saw that when there is a cause and you believe in it, and उनके requirement के हिसाब से तुम दो, कि जहाँ पर 1000 देना चाहिए वहाँ 1000 दो, वहाँ पर $10 करके कोई फायदा नहीं होगा तुमको. We know some kind of common sense. Okay.
This very charity can bring into us feelings of egoism and vanity, and these are being avoided by instructing us to give with modesty. There are yet others who may have the intellectual vision to judge the cause he is patronizing, the large-heartedness to give in plenty, with all modesty that has been required of him, and yet he may not have the necessary love element in himself to feel a deep sympathy for the cause which he has come to patronize. The Rishi is advising here that we should not, on any score, ignore this most essential factor in all charities. To give without sympathy is to build a temple without the idol, and is as futile as to paint a picture with black ink on a blackboard.
So he's just saying that spiritual progress hoegi nahi tumhari if you don't have that deep sympathy, love, that feeling of oneness with the cause. That's very important.
Sympathy generates love in us, and unless this love element comes to predominate in us, compelling us to seek an identity with the cause, we will not be spiritually evolving along the path of charity. Charity constricts the hearts and obstructs the human growth if it is not honeyed with the spirit of love, and the joy of identification.
So we saw that how this identification is when you feel oneness with something, and then that love automatically comes. And I was just thinking, that कोई बोलेगा कि भाई तामसिक दान भी होता है क्या? हाँ, होता है where you actually hurt the person, or it is completely useless for them. It's like somebody was saying that in a tropical climate, you are giving them sweaters. Because तुम्हारे क्लोजेट में खूब सारी स्वेटर भरी हुई है, and then you go and give it, that they'll never use it. Something like that. Or you are giving cigarettes to some kids and say, मैं तो दान दे रहा हूँ फ्री में. लोग करते हैं ना. That's how they get them addicted to the drugs.
या उसमें कठोपनिषद में भी था ना कि वो निचिकेता का फादर.
Exactly, you are right. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what he was doing. वो दान दे रहा था ऐसी बूढ़ी गायों को, और उसका बेटा was only just like whatever 5-10 years old, is saying, what are you doing, Dad? This is not going to help anyone. It's going to hurt him actually. Think about it, because I mean
I think that's what he was thinking. The kid, that's what he was thinking of his father. Really.
Exactly. That's so right. True.
Hence, we are warned against all charity without sympathy for the cause or the occasion. To throw a paisa to a helpless beggar and make him struggle to pick it up from the wayside dirt with his half-eaten up leprous fingers is no charity at all. However, thick the giver's wear his cast mark on his narrow forehead.
He's talking about the tikka. This is a poetic language. इतना बड़ा टिक्का लगा के और वो ऐसे खूब अच्छा ड्रेस पहन के, and then you're just throwing this पैसा, वो मैं तो charity कर रहा हूँ. That's not called charity. So we saw that, and I think the best charity is to give where somebody really needs it and going to get help. कोई बहुत भूखा उसको खाना खिला दो, and those kind of thing. Or India में like the travelers के लिए वो लोग पानी देते हैं and all that comes under charity. And then our teacher used to say charity does not have to be always monetary, because we have this wrong idea that खाली पैसा दे दो तो हो जाता है. You can give your time, you can give your talent, you can give, if somebody is very depressed, you can go talk to them and make them happy. That's also charity. You're giving them your time, your energy, what your, some good ideas from your intent. All that comes under charity. So it is a very vast topic, that what charity is, Anyway, interesting. I think it makes us think, right?
It does.
It helps us. It'll help me a lot to think, So I think everyone, yeah. Any comment, question? Anybody wants to add anything? I guess everybody.
Charity has a very small. It's a small word, and we think of it small, but it's so. When we read it,
exactly, it has a vast consequences and all that, and some of these people, I read, sometimes you read some such inspiring stories that there was this man who said that he was a big philanthropist, right? So somebody interviewed him and he asked them that, why do you give so much and all that? So he told his own story. He said that when he was in Africa somewhere, that's where he grew up. He was extremely poor. And he said that he got some admission in some school, and he was so embarrassed to go because he didn't have shoes to go there. And then some kind person in the train, he was sitting or something, he gave his own shoe. He realized that this boy wants to go to the school and doesn't have shoes. So उसने अपने shoes उसको दे दिए. और उसको लगा कि वो इतना बड़ा दान था कि, how somebody just gave away because he needed it at that time. Just that thing sparked in him this thing, and when he became successful and all that, and so God knows, sometimes you may think that it's such a small thing, but it has such a huge impact because that it created a chain reaction of him doing some bigger charities, things like that. So किसी को सचमुच जरूरत हो वो टाइम पे तुम करो. I think in my mind that's the best one.
Yeah, that's what happened to the boy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's good. It's just telling us all how to live life, the whole part of it, before the second chapter really comes.
Yeah, it's so interesting, and some of the aspect that they have touched upon in this Upanishad is we don't even think about those things sometimes,
Yes.
right? But this makes you think. Yeah. But I still get marveled by Bhagavad Gita that if you study the Bhagavad Gita thoroughly and understand it, it has every element in it. You know, you can't. तभी किसी ने बोला कि even if you don't read any Upanishad, you thoroughly read Bhagavad Gita, you have read all Upanishad because it's the essence of everything. Then after studying Bhagavad Gita, when you go and then you realize, Krishna Bhagwan ने कैसे निचोड़ डाल के निकाल के उसमें डाला है, you really see it because different Upanishads, say different things, but उन्होंने सारे Upanishad का निचोड़ डाल दिया उसमें. It is quite amazing. Yeah, sorry, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
No, that's fine.
Something you were saying, yeah. Kamala ji, it's really nice to see you back after so long. I know you travel. I don't know if she's still there.
I'm there.
Okay.
I'm there.
Because
Yes.
Yeah, you involved with so many things.
Such family life stage that I can't attend this class regularly, but I really love
No,
it.
I appreciate it. Whenever you come, it's great.
And I went for 40 days, and it feels like I lived my life in 40 days.
That's good. Very good. Very good. Yeah.
To all the people of this group, I'll highly recommend that whenever you go to India, take advantage of these Ayurvedic centers.
Oh, that's where you went. Yeah, I think we should. I agree with you. I have that desire somewhere in my heart too that someday I will go to some Ayurvedic center. And they have made it very nice now these days because people are going now. A lot of them.
Yeah, the authentic ones. This time God took me to Kerala. I had no plans, but He plans for me. And He took me to Kerala Ayurvedic Center.
Did you go to AVP or some other?
Kottakal.
Oh, okay.
Aryavedyashala Kottakal.
No, I went to Coimbatore.
Coimbatore is a very famous one, yeah.
Coimbatore I went 3 times before.
Actually, yesterday I saw Asha Bhosle on TV. She's 90-year-old.
Wow.
And she goes to AVP all the time.
Okay, yeah, I went AVP 3 times.
She looks good even now.
Yeah, but this AVS, I found
changed the
it.
name now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's in Kottakal, Kerala. This is even more authentic than AVP.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, they did my cleansing for 7 days, and till today, when you roll your tongue inside your mouth, that's the indicator of good health. If it's if you feel very good, there is no deposits there, it means your system is very good, clean. And since they did it, it's amazing. I recommend everybody after 60 should go. Whenever you plan to go to India, make sure that you plan that thing. It's like servicing your body as if you're servicing your car every year. We need to do that.
Body tune
I
up.
was telling my son that last time he came, I was explaining him, he should spend a couple of weeks there. So
Yes.
he said, I have no time.
Like 4 people massage you for an hour continuously, 2 times a day. What else you need?
Yeah, that is the idea of heaven. So we all sitting on the earth, we can go to the heaven.
And especially for us, when we go from here to India, it costs like maybe $1,200 for 2-3 weeks treatment. That's worth planning it. Really, based on my experiences, I recommend everybody. And now I have been to so many places.
So
If you plan to go, I'll let you know where to go.
yeah, you can share it. No, that's a good piece of information, because sometimes if okay, I want to go now, I don't know where to start. But if you have gone to so many places and you are recommending it, obviously it has a lot of value, because you
Yeah,
have
I have
already
been to
tried it.
7 places. Every time I go, that is my priority. That I'll plan everything around it. I have this dangerous disease also, like rheumatoid arthritis. So for that, it's my necessity too. But anytime anybody need guidance, I can guide in this field.
Great. That's why this group is very diverse with all kinds of different ideas.
Yes.
Okay,
But,
great. Bolo.
All very spiritual people here, all very highly seekers. So that's why I love to come to this group.
Thank you. With everybody's contribution makes it like that, this group. So I appreciate
Yes.
all of you. So we will
Yes.
meet in another week. Next week. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to just do the closing prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.